Hello everyone, this is Michael here again. So today I'd like to run through a few idioms and expressions about, as you can see from the design, about books. So there's a few idioms I'd like to cover. Perhaps some of them you're aware of, perhaps some of them might be new. But the first idiom I'd like to cover is the idiom or the expression to read someone like a book. If somebody says, I've known John for 14 years, I can read him like a book. What are they saying? Basically, what they're saying is, because I've known him for 14 years, I know him very well. I know what he's thinking. I know the actions he does. I know the decisions that he makes. So, I can read him like a book. I know exactly what he's going to do. I know exactly what he wants. I know exactly how he reacts to certain situations because I know him very well. Now, other times there might be situations where maybe you don't know someone that well. You haven't known them for 14 years, like I used in that example. But generally, you know a person or you know the type of person that they are, and you can read them like a book. The next example, or the next expression I'd like to cover is the expression by the book. My teacher is very by the book. My boss or my colleague is very by the book. What are we saying there, to be by the book? Basically, what we're saying here is to follow the rules. Follow all the rules. Very proper, very polite. You follow the systems in a very strict way. So, my colleague is very by the book. He follows every company policy that we have. He follows the rules, shows up early, leaves late, never breaks any rule. He's very by the book. So the next expression I'd like to use is cook the books. Now, if my boss has been cooking the books, well, I don't think that my boss is by the book. Because this expression, to cook the books, is generally related to accounting in a business about the money. They're lying about the money. So, they might write on paper, or they show to the government, or to the tax collector. They show the tax collector, hey, we made this much money, when in reality, we made that much money. Or maybe they change the numbers. So in other words, it usually happens in accounting. The bookkeeper would go into the book where they keep the logs of their income and the money spent and all their accounts and change the numbers for one reason or another. They're trying to cheat taxes. They're trying to fool their customers, or they're trying to fool their shareholders. For anybody buying stocks, they want their stock price to go up. So they cook the books. They change the numbers. The next one is take a leaf out of someone's book. So to take a leaf out of someone's book is essentially to copy someone or take somebody's advice on something, or use somebody as an example to follow. So, here's an example. They should take a leaf out of the industry's book and pay the management and staff on results. That essentially means that you should follow somebody else's example and do what they do. Take a leaf out of his book. Use him as an example. Take a leaf out of her book. She is a great role model. And finally, One more I'd like to cover today. Don't judge a book by its cover. This one I think a lot of people are probably familiar with. Essentially what this means, don't judge a book by its cover, is don't just look at the front of a book and decide, oh, this is a good book or this is not a good book. But it goes beyond just books. There are situations where you might actually be talking about a book. You look at the cover and you're like, oh, that looks boring. I'm not going to read that. But what's inside might be amazing. So it goes beyond just actual books. Many things in life, anything in life, really. What you see on the outside is not always what's on the inside. So often we could use that with people. Right? What you see on the outside doesn't show their personality. It's what's inside that we really need to be aware of. So don't judge a book by its cover. Don't look at a person. Don't look at a situation just on the outside and make a decision. We need to get to know that person. We need to become familiar with that situation. I think a lot of us probably have that expression in their own language. A lot of my students tell me that they have something similar in their own language to that last one. Don't judge a book by its cover. So I'd like to just quickly recap before I go. We went through read someone like a book to know exactly what somebody's going to do or to understand a person very easily, know what they're thinking, know what they're feeling. To be by the book, to follow all the rules exactly. Cook the books, to go into accounts, change the figures, change the numbers in a dishonest way. For whatever reason, you're lying, you're changing the numbers in accounts, to cook the books. Take a leaf out of someone's book, to follow another person as an example. Use somebody else as an example and follow that example. And don't judge a book by its cover. Don't look at a situation on the outside or a person on the outside and make a decision. You have to get to know that person. You have to become familiar with that situation. Well, that's it for this lesson. I hope you learned something new and enjoy your day.